And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Wednesday, March 16th at 8:24 in the afternoon. How are you doing? Let me make this right turn real quick because I'm such a diligent driver that pays attention. Let me see, 1 mile, 436A. All right, cool. So anyway, honestly, I'm having the best day ever. I just did comedy at this great, amazing, beautiful, awesome club called TK's. It's phenomenal. I had a really good set. I was happy. I had to internally edit some information. So if you imagine kind of changing a song so it's a certain amount of minutes, I feel like I could have been more fluid, but in a weird way, when I'm doing comedy now, it's actually kind of harder to do fewer minutes than it is more. You know, like when you do more minutes in comedy, which I just got off stage, like I said, did very well. When you're doing comedy and whatnot, especially at a certain level, that time on stage helps with segues. You know, it's kind of like if you were talking with a girl, how you transition from one conversation to the next. So I was kind of internally editing stuff as I'm on stage, and I kept it together. I did well, but I can only do better. You know, the longer I'm on stage, the better it is. Yeah, and I didn't run over my time, and I'm a professional. I don't ever do that, but I'm always very adamant on respecting the owner, the stage, the people after me, the people before me. It's all about respect, you know, that love and laughter. You know what's interesting is there was a term during the Renaissance days, forget about when it was, okay, I'm not trying to lose my whole audience right now, but it was a term called a Rennaissance Man. Nowadays, more or less, you call it an entrepreneur. You know, somebody who is a guy or girl, not being sexist, who's pretty much good at doing one thing, or more than one thing, and being proficient at it. And I think it's an interesting term because, number one, it sounds cooler to say you're a Renaissance man or woman, whatever, right? But it really does ring true to, in my opinion, at least for comedy, because I feel like a good comic can be one of many things, and you have to be good at many of those things. You know, you might be an outdoorsman and a comedian. You might be a guy with a big family or something like that, and a comedian. You know, comedy isn't always the ups, but it can be the downs too. You're embracing, you're enjoying each other, participating in moments together of all different kinds, and finding a comical angle, you know. And I was thinking about what kind of Renaissance man I am, and if you don't know very little to nothing about me, in short, I'm an Army veteran. I'm a college graduate. I speak 4 languages. Okay, I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner. I love it. It's a part of who I am. So between having the warrior spirit of a soldier, an Army veteran, being interested in languages and living overseas, which I did, and in comedy, I'm not really sure how that can be bundled up in one nice little tight bow, but that is who I am. And comedy, in my opinion, it's the art that balances everything out for me. You know, certain things you might do with brute force, certain things you might do with finesse, but I put so much more intellect and time and energy and everything into the adaptation, the origin of a thought, having an original angle of something that maybe everyone is already thinking, and the recognition of hearing people laugh is it's like going to bed in golden sheets. It's priceless. It is the best feeling beyond expression. It is better than any other feeling, and I experienced that again tonight. I love roller coasters. You know, I'll jump out of an airplane. I'm an extreme guy, breakdance, whatever, right? But that is the one thing, the piece of art, the balance that ties together everything in who I am. You know what I mean? I realized that it was, in essence, and in all reality, my calling when I was living in DC and I heard way too many people telling me on my day job or away from my day job, or I was at a restaurant or a gas station, I would always be writing, we'll get a little deep for a second. So I've been writing jokes since I was in the Army, right? And well, once I got my laptop back after basic training. So I've been writing jokes since about 2009, and I have all this material, but none of that means anything without pressure testing it, without proving that it works and working on it. And since then, I've continued to write, but now my newer stuff is better than ever before. I'm not ever going to really have enough days, hours, minutes, sets, etc. to say everything that I've said before leading up to now. But I'm so excited about the stuff that I'm saying now because it's so powerful, it's so good, it's so true. And the stuff that I actually said tonight, it was just sort of like an appetizer of things to segue into other material that I really like getting into. I think the first 5 minutes, it's always good to have it be strong, but I really try to bring the heat and throw down the hammer, so to speak, and really drop it heavy, going on minute 6 from like that point forward. So, as a side note, my Facebook got hacked. Some of you may know that. I have a lot more audio listeners than I do video, but anyway. I got to see so many faces of people I haven't seen in so long. It was such like a good community, warm feeling to see so many good people that I wanted the best for. I lost all my contacts, and I don't really have any roots here in Texas, but I'm slowly and surely like getting back to where I was before the pandemic started, And as a side note, I actually have a redemption show June the 12th in Arkansas. I was supposed to maybe headline, but definitely do a show in Arkansas, and it was the first headline kind of a show that I was going to be doing, and it was the first weekend. It was the first weekend of the pandemic, and my night going on was the first day that they were closed because of the corona. So it really means a lot to me to go back and really just, get that one back, so to speak. You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't want to talk in circles too much, but I'm so happy and I'm so thankful. And it really is just the best thing. And having a platform, being able to express this, it means a lot too. If you've listened to me up until now, maybe you've learned about a little bit about me. And I always have my email at the bottom if you ever want to share a little bit about yourself, you got a question, I'll keep it anonymous, but I'll always try to help. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. This is your Renaissance man himself, warrior, comedian, soldier, Benja Welldone, checking me out. Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen, счастливо, ciao. I'm out. Have a great one. See you guys. Peace.